Then why would Angry Bird box it?
Well, my son, the Angry Birds have had a hard time because I've introduced them to my friend, Mr. Hammer.
I like Mr. Hammer.
Oh, that's my boy. You're learning real fast.
That's so fun. Dad, can you fix the Angry Birds?
I think they're beyond repair.
Look, Dad, it fixed.
I think it's missing a major body component there.
Yeah.
Well, hello there. For the Angry Birds fan who thought they had everything in life, I bet you don't have these. Do you know what it is? Can you tell this close up exactly what I'm looking at here? It's a bouquet of red birds. Isn't that beautiful? This cost me an astonishing $40 and I purchased it just after Valentine's Day back in 2013. I've had it basically in the workshop for about a year and it's really one of the strangest things that I've come across. I tried to get a discount on it, but the little Korean shop, which is being run by some Chinese people, would not do a deal because they said Angry Birds was so popular. You know what? I know they're right on that, but I still think $40 for, what is it, 8 red birds looking like red roses is a little bit too much. Sort of got me feeling a little bit angry. And moving right along, we've got a lot of birds to look at in this video. This next one looks like a bump and go red bird, I believe. It cost me, from memories, $15. It's underneath there. Let's pull this bird out and see what we have. Oh, come on, out you come. You stubborn little red thing. Ooh. You're a sweetie pie. And there's some bump and go wheels. Let me throw some batteries in and let's see what it does. I've just noticed inside the box here it's got some egg action. I wonder what these eggs are for. How strange. Actually, inspecting the box looks like you take the head feather off, you put an egg in and it runs around squirting out eggs. This red bird takes 3 AA batteries, and they're LD batteries, they're not Duracells, as you can see. I don't do ads for LD. If you go back a few videos, you'll understand why. Oh, don't you love this knockoff nightmare that I've created here? Oh, fancy that! Where have we heard that before? Well, the best way I've found to deal with this noisy chips and knees is to cover it up with a bit of tape, and at least then I'll have my senses. Well, just as the box told me, you can take off this head feather here, you can load in some eggs. How strange is this bird, eh? Get that head feather back on, and let's rock. Okay, I've set up my bump and go circuit here. Let's turn this bird on and see what it can do. Oh, just laid an egg. Oh, she's away again. Oh, it's quite a fast little move, this one. Watch out for that. Oh, there we go. How bizarre. That is one very strange toy indeed. It's going to lay an egg any moment. Here it comes. Oh. And away it goes. Well, a very sprightly red bird and half funny and entertaining as well. No XLA there. Let's ramp up the fun. Let's have Redbird fight it out with Darkside Thomas the Tank. Okay, this is going to get a little bit crazy and it might be a little bit loud. Let's get Redbird on. I've reloaded these eggs. Let them battle begin. Whoa! Thomas is doing a spinner and there's an egg being low. Oh-ho! Come on, guys. Whoa, a bit of egg collision there. Redbird is chasing down Thomas. Oh, they nearly hit each other. Oh, there's another egg being laid. Thomas is getting sort of caught up over the corner there. Oh, here comes Redbird again. Whoa! Watch out! Oh, nearly got taken out by Thomas there. Come on, Redbird. You can do better than that. Thomas is after you. He's after that egg by the look of it. Whoa, these guys have not come in contact. Oh, it's a head-on. It is a head-on. It's an official head-on. I think 1 point there to Redbird. Thomas is doing a spinner. I think the spinner would knock Redbird. Oh, there's an egg. Oh, there's eggs flying. This is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. It looks like they're lining up for another hit. Oh, Redbird's having holidays, trying to lay another egg, but he's got no more eggs to lay. Oh, they need a hit then. Thomas is coming around. Thomas is procrastinating. He is spinning around. Redbird is holidaying over here. Go get Thomas, Redbird. You can do it. Come on, guys. I want to see some action here. Oh, that was a very close call. Oh, there's been what I call a cab hit from Angry Bird. Watch out. Oh, then there's another smack by Thomas. I think Thomas is going to win this one. That smack has really taken out Redbird, but Redbird is still surviving. I can barely talk. The excitement is killing me. Thomas is over here, sort of stuck on the rails. Redbird can come in and attack now, I'm sure of it. Come on, Redbird, you can do your thing. Oh, he's going to try and lay another egg. There's no more eggs left. Come on. While Thomas is stuck, he can come in for the kill. Come on. He's... No! My goodness, I think that's got to be another win to Thomas there. It has to be the win to Thomas. I saw a couple of very good hits from Thomas there. The winner is the knockoff Thomas the Tank. Oh! When they're still fighting. It's sort of funny, you could watch this for hours and hours and hours, and these are just cheap knockoff toys. Remembering that these toys are low in quality and possibly potential killers. That Redbird is certainly sprightly. You've got no more eggs to lay there. And Thomas is doing another spinner. Oh! Oh boy, oh boy. For sure, this knockoff Angry Bird toy seems to be very clever. It makes a lot of noise. It also lays some eggs like this. I'm a bit curious to see the mechanism inside this toy which lays the eggs. I've got a special way of opening up this toy so we can see clearly how it all works. And if it's laying eggs, doesn't that mean there'll be more knockoff Angry Birds? Well, Redbird, here's a new game, Knock on Hammer. Confucius say, knock off Angry Bird to knock off Angry Bird. Well, let's survey the damage. Here's his face, or the front of the shell, or whatever you want to call it. Angry Bird's front bit, and it's all just, you know, hollow. Trash pack jumped down, tried to save himself, but got caught up in the fury. That's the egg delivery chute there. And there's his little tail feather. Interesting when you see it all opened up, isn't it? Another trashy has jumped for his life. Some twin-headed one from, I won't say where, nearly said Tasmania. That's the light array, I suppose, and I suppose the sound chip, God, I hope I'm right here, is in there. Electronics experts are going to correct me. I know if I'm wrong, people love to correct me, I'm sure of it. He had a little motor in there as well. The motor has been exposed. Quite interesting. Maybe it's an Aussie 50 now. Send it down to him. Bit of spring mechanism. There's quite a few bits in this piece. That's, I think, the front of the motor. The Pez Angry Birds took a dive when they saw their mate go down, as you would. The pigs are laughing though. Over here, as usual, that Thomas with the crown has jumped, and bits of plastic up the back here. That moose toy trashy has jumped down as normal, or jumped off wherever it was. This is the base thing, the thing that holds him down. I just put a whole ton of blue tack. I took the little rotating wheel off. The secret is it's blue tack there. That's why it doesn't, you know, I get a few hits of the hammer before it disappears. His top piece, or head feather, is next to the GoPro. GoPro survived because I have got a new way with heaps of blue tack to hold it down. Eggs got smashed. There's some little bits more of the battery compartment, I think. A little bit more of whatever that is. One egg has survived. Battery over near. Oh no, look at that, magnetised onto there. Another battery. And this battery's got a whack. It got a clear whack of a hammer. Probably why it went silent after the first hit. And there is this motor mechanism. I suppose that was powering the, I don't know, the wheels. And it would have been a gear coming off to power that rear tail feather. It's all greasy. It shows you they do grease it. Anyway, that is one dead red bird. You know, I'm pretty certain there's just about anything you can find which has been turned into an Angry Birds theme. These are some slippers. You know how much I paid for these? There it is there, $11.50. Remembering none of that money's going back to the owners of Angry Birds. Bet you they're wondering, was it such a good move to let it become such a crazy enterprise, free enterprise. And I left it in the bag because most of these knockoff products come in these crinkly bags that make a lot of sound. I'll take it away because you'll probably... Oh, I found a Christmas beetle in there. Oh, that's weird. Look at this. Is that a beetle from China? Look. Oh, what is that? That was inside that bag. Looks like a Christmas beetle from Australia, I hope. It might be a Well, I don't want to go there. Too scary to even contemplate. Anyway, back to the story here. This is what it looked like. They've got a bit of a nylon-y tie thing between them. Let's pull it apart. There we go. A bit of Angry Bird slipper. Just perfect to keep your little toes warm during winter. And you can go and kick some Angry Bird angst around the house. Well, there's a better look at that beetle that came out of the sealed bag that the knockoff Angry Bird slippers are in. I'm a bit worried it might be a beetle from overseas. At least it's dead, that's the main thing. I'll probably need an entomologist to look at that to verify exactly what it is, where it came from. Because one thing in Australia is we don't want nasties coming in from overseas. That is, if it is from overseas. Well, I'm endeavouring to show you the weird stuff here. This is a learning computer. It's Angry Birds Space Duda. It cost me $12. It's called the P1000. I can open it up and show you what it looks like in there. We're going to take this out and give it a bit of a, inspection. There it tells you what it can do and what it can't do. There's an example there of what this does. Example, where is the apple? When you answer right, it'll say good to you. When you answer wrong, it'll say try again. I wonder how it'll answer to where is the hammer. On the back here, there's some other languages. I think that's Spanish. I don't know what that one is. English, Indonesian, and what would that one be? Is that Russian? Who knows? Well, I've just worked out it's pretty easy to unbox. It just lifts out. It's sort of emulating, I suppose, an iPad type thing. There's lots of these sort of learning things about. But the thing I'm trying to work out is where is the Angry Bird theme on this actual little computer? I can't see it. A bit of an interesting read here. Latest styles, children's best playmate, unlimited fun in which to do. Now, considering this is something to do with learning a language, I'm not exactly sure whether that back piece makes any sense. There is an on switch here. I can't hear any Angry Birds theme.
Hello, children. Welcome to the learning land.
Crikey, I can barely understand it myself. I don't know, maybe...
Let's learn the letters.
Let's send the letters. Okay, A.
A,
Okay.
I, Q, B, K, R.
Okay, music. What does music do? Probably music gets me a DMCA. Oh, better go for that one.
The word.
Spell.
L, U, M, O, N.
Lemon.
Lemon.
That's what this is. This is a lemon. What about banana? Banana. How about, what's another one? What's another good one? King. Okay, well, it can spell okay. Can it spell the word hammer? I can't see hammer on there. You know what? I think I can introduce it to one. Let's spell the word hammer! Now there's a lesson in English you'll never forget. Well, here's a Aftermath Hammer report. As normal, the Pez Angry Birds have taken a dive. They're good at doing that. Hey, look at that little moose guy has jumped forward. Every time the moose comes and plays. This is the base of that fake, whatever it is, learning device, iPad, whatever. It's very tough. One thing, I mean, I really did smack that round. And look at this. The cover is very tough as well. I was really surprised. That took a couple of hands. It's obviously been, smacked in the middle. The battery compartment was in the middle there. That looks like the things that would be feeding the front interface. But what's really interesting is, I don't think there's any more electronics in this than that. The whole brain power of that thing is there. I mean, maybe someone can explain it. I don't know, because I know nothing about electronics and how these things work. But I'm sort of a little bit surprised about that. Maybe it's because I don't know how it works. There's a piece of the battery doodah there, and there's what's left of the speaker. The speaker got smacked out. Yeah, quite surprising how tough that little thing was. I think I know the secret to why it's so tough. It's because there's basically a lamination of two materials going on here, and when you have things laminated, it tends to make them very strong. So that front bit there, that's actually the keypad thing, and they're all the electronics or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, because I know nothing about it. which feed down to the ribbon at the bottom. And it's been stuck on very well, so it's a fantastic lamination. And I dare say that bottom piece there would have fed into there somewhere. They would have been connected at one point, but Mr. Hammer has decided to, well, redesign this very, very nasty Angry Birds weirdo toy. I don't know if I could call it a knockoff. The packaging was knockoff, but this device here seemed to have nothing to do with Angry Birds. And while we've got Mr. Hammer in our minds, I did find that missing plane that I gave a slight tap with the hammer to. What was it? It was called Rip Slinger. And these were some of the, or better quality knockoffs. I shouldn't say it like that, but this one, these really did survive a beating. But he was flung across the workshop some distance away from this table. The Angry Birds Dark Side runs very, very deep. It covers many, many products. Here's some correction tape that I found. You can see how much I paid for that, $3.14. I can't see any information relating back to the people who own Angry Birds, made in China. Fancy that. But I think it sort of proves to me that anything can become Angry Bird themed. From the same shop that correction tape came this box of Angry Bird pens. I paid $6.90 for that. You might as well call that nearly $7. And there's actually quite a few pens in it. It's actually quite a good deal, considering there are a lot of pens in there. I don't know if I have to drag them all out, but you can see what's going on in there. There's all sorts of, the yellow bird, the red bird, the blue bird. It's a shame it hasn't got the black one, Bomb. Isn't the black one called Bomb? I love the YouTuber that sent me the names. But anyway, they're the pens. And while we're thinking of pens, here are 2 8-colour pens. Remember those? I sort of remember these from years and years ago. It was a challenge to get pens which had as many colours as possible. Sure enough, they're Angry Birds theme. There is no licensing information on these back to the people who own Angry Birds. All I can see is China. But it just shows you that anything can have an Angry Bird on it and it'll become, well, far more popular. There's also all these different sorts of keychains. This is just one version. You can pull this out here, and if I press the right spot somewhere, it'll make a noise. Making a very chirpy sort of birdie sound, isn't it? The blue bird, what's his name? It's either Jim, Jake, or Jay. Just got that sheet from that lovely YouTuber Sarah Tuplin next to me. There's also Bomb. Let's see what Bomb makes. Is he going to make a bomb sound? No, he's going to be chirping as well. He's not very happy, Bomb. He's had better days. Fancy that. Welcome to the dark side. And here's Red. He's got his button on top. His head feather is a button. And he's chirping away. It's funny, the knockoff stuff, like if you look at Red there, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look, the classic look of the Angry Bird. And quite often that's what you'll find in the knockoff Angry Bird stuff. Well, mind you, it has a tail feather there. But its face just doesn't say to me Red. And continuing on with the idea that anything can be turned into Angry Birds, I think this is a little clock. You can see I paid nearly $6 for this. Crazy, isn't it? I mean, imagine the money which has been made from the people who do the knockoff stuff. The people who have the real McCoy licensed stuff, the real owners of Angry Birds must be laughing. Here it comes. Let's take a look at this one. I don't know if I've got to put a battery in it or what. It's sort of cute, isn't it? Looking very cute. Oh, it's very cute. Little knockoff thing. Wow. Let's see if I can make it work. It takes little button batteries. I just noticed it's one of those little things that you pull here. Oh, it pulls the whole battery out. Fancy that. Oh, let me fix it up. Okay, I got the clock up and running. I've set the alarm for 1. I wonder if it makes Angry Birds theme when we come around to 1 o'clock. Oh, here we go. It's just a beeper. I was hoping for an Angry Birds theme, but we're not that lucky. Well, I dare say the Dark Side is making so much money, they're now making money boxes. Here's the design on this one. This was from a very local shop to where I live, which sneaks in a bit of Dark Side stuff. $2 for each of these. Easy money, isn't it? There's actually 4 designs of these. I'll just run them through quickly. Yeah, it's funny, and they sold really well. That's the funny thing about all this. It's a very, very popular theme. I think Angry Birds is going to, one of these things that just goes on forever. Bit of a nighttime theme here. Crashed out Grandpa Pig. People can tell me about that. Is it a Christmas theme to this one? Or is it just winter? Wintry theme, isn't it? And the last one, which is sort of very, I don't know, what would you call it? Modern looking, isn't it? Sort of 60s style. Maybe Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol Angry Birds, eh? That'd be a winner. For the grand sum of $15, you can have some Angry Bird Walkie-Talkies. Yay! And here's the back of the box. which is going to sort of tell you where to put the batteries in. Just as I come in and open this one up, you know, when I buy this stuff now, I mean, most of the shopkeepers, they know me, I'm a repeat purchaser of these items. And if I buy one or two things, I can't get a discount. If I do like a bundle of them, like you see the guys on American Pickers, where they go and bundle stuff, you'll get a better deal. And, what was it, $15 for this? I'm not sure if it's worth $15. I'm not sure whether even if it's worth $5. Well, these have got a very, very horrible, cheap and nasty feel to them. Fancy that. What was I expecting? They take a 9-volt battery. Did you know Aldi do 9-volt batteries? Yes, they do. They do all sorts of batteries, and that seems to be the only batteries I like to show in my videos. It's making noises. Wonder what that means. I don't know. Who's into radios and understands why it's making a noise? Let me get the battery in the other one, and we'll see if it cancels it out. I've got a double hiss now. Fancy that. Welcome to the world of knockoffs, eh? If I transmit on that one, oh, I'll get feedback. Oh, it's getting very nasty. It's getting very nasty. Well, I've got both yellow and red bird with their batteries in there. There is an on-off switch on the side here. There's the transmit button here. Let me see if I can transmit across to red bird, and I'll just turn away from my camera when I'm going to talk. Here we go.
Hello, red bird. Hello, red bird. Can you hear me? Does it sound like I'm talking through that radio? Does it sound a bit weird? Red bird.
Well, they do work, but the problem is there's this continual squelching sound from it. Let's see if I can talk through red bird to yellow bird.
Hello, yellow bird. Hello, yellow bird. Can you hear me? Does it sound really cheap and nasty? Do I need Mr. Hammer? Mr. Hammer, please.
Yes, I've got a feeling these deserve a good smack with the hammer. Breaker, breaker, here comes the hammer. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you now. You seem to have broken up. Oh yeah, Mr. Hammer has certainly done its job here, and thank you for all the people who voted Mr. Hammer on to continue on. Considering there were some people who complained to me about this, if you want to have a major complaint, just contact Google and tell them what you don't like about me, please. I don't want to hear about it from you. Stop wasting my time. The noise up here is the fan somehow turned on. That's an Angry Bird fan. I think it's a knockoff. The banging had turned that on, which is really weird. There's bits and pieces up here, up the back here, the moose trashies up the back there. As usual, the Angry Birds have taken a dive. There's some more trashies and stuff that's taken a dive here. That ball bounced across table. I'm not sure how much of it you'll see on the recording. This looks like part of the electronics out of the red one in the aerial. There wouldn't be much inside these, I don't think. There's Krusty, Dusty, Rusty, whatever his name is. I've got no idea. That's a real McCoy toy, which is actually quite nice. I quite like that one. Moving right along, this is the base. That was where the red one was. I used blue tack to hold these down. The yellow one was obviously there. Just moving over here, there's a major bottom piece, the battery compartment and the electronics package there. I don't know if you know your electronics, whether that's good. Well, it wouldn't be good, would it? What am I saying? There's the circuitry. Who knows their stuff on that? I don't. You should know that by now. That's my biggest, weakest link is electronics. Yeah, I should have got into it. I could have made a lot of money, couldn't I? I think anyone who got into electronics made lots of money. Look at Dick Smith in Australia. There's a speaker. Got really in where the speaker housing was. Boy, it was a tinny sound from this thing. Horrible. There's the battery compartment, or the rear of it, from the red one, going across to the other battery. This was the red one, and it's been hit with the hammer there. I'll probably have to can that battery. I don't think I want to keep it around now. And yeah, there's one of the buttons. I don't know, they had an on and off button and a transmit button. But all in all, it is a horrid mess, and they were horrid two-way radios. Well, considering it's coming up to Easter, last Easter I found these pop-up power mugs. We'll take a look at this, and this is a real licensed Angry Birds product, because people will be saying, well, Leo, you're showing us all this knockoff. How can we tell a real licensed Angry Bird product? Well, you look up here, you want to look for that there. and there'll also be the little logo. That's the logo of the company, the chocolate company that does those. Somewhere else on here will be the logo. Looking for, there it is there. That's what you're looking for. But sadly, there is just so much knockoff Angry Birds stuff around. Trying to find stuff which is licensed is becoming virtually impossible. Just going to pull one of these out. Take a look. This is from last year, so I don't know what condition the egg would be in. I don't know how long Easter eggs last. It's got that artwork on there. Bird is the word. There's the back artwork. It's quite nice, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing with the real McCoy stuff. It tends to have really nice artwork, and it's got this sort of, if I get it working in the right direction, this pop-up Angry Bird, which may really annoy you, or it may give you lots and lots of happiness. Well, sure, there's Red Bird sneak up at the back there, but there's also Bluebird here, who is Jim, Jake, or Jay, from what a lovely YouTuber told me, or his name, Sarah Tuplin. I hope I'm getting it right. I hope I remember that. There it is. And there's also this mystery one, and I'll need your help to identify this one, because I'm reading on the thing that was sent to me. The girl bird is Stella, and Stella is pink. But who's that one there? Does anyone know? Is that Red Bird like in drag? What's going on there? Yes, another Angry Birds mystery. But I'm curious about this egg here. The use by date is the 30th of the 6th, 2014. So in theory, it is still okay. That means this thing could be in the stores for like 2 Easters. It's been down in the workshop, and I'm a bit curious to see the condition of this egg. The workshop isn't really air conditioned or heated, and it sort of looks okay. Although it's got a bit of a deformation there. It gets very hot down here. It seems to have survived. It was in a tub with all the knockoff Angry Birds stuff. It's opened up. Might be a surprise inside. Oh no, it's actually feeling very soft. It's summertime here, so it's feeling very soft. You can see it's just starting to open up. What's inside? Angry Bird air. Well, here's more proof you can have Red Bird, Angry Bird, anything. This one here might be a mystery to some people, but if you're a person who goes to Asian markets, you'll know what this is. Do you know what that is in there? People who probably have a bit of a mystery thinking, what is that? As you can see, it's shaped like a bird. People might say it looks more like a penguin, but it's got Red Bird's head there. It's got a little head feather there. It's got a slot here. You can turn these into coin or money banks when you're finished eating what's inside. Also got a handle, of course. It's got some feet, and you'll see how much I paid for this. I paid $5 for this. It was actually on special, down from about $7.50, saying it's got yogurt jelly inside. And it was bought from a Chinese market in the Korean part of town. You can probably only get that combination in Australia. I'll open it up and I'll show you what's inside. It's got a lid that you unscrew, and then you got this sort of, it's all fresh inside sort of foil thing. Looks like the rats had nibble at that already. And inside here is the yummies that children love to eat. In fact, I used to love those as well before I went on my big diet. And it's interesting, I now look at what's inside things. It's got water, sugar, so there's a lot of sugar in that because it's usually listed in the way that it's most of. So it's most of water, the next most thing in there is sugar, seaweed extract, blah blah blah. It's mandarin flavour, and these are really yummy. You know why they're yummy? Because it's got sugar, and sugar is evil. I'll open it up so you can see what's inside. There'll be people who are not familiar with these. Like I said, these are yummy, they're juicy, they're sugary, and they're the sort of things, once you have one, you just can't stop eating them. Just put my finger in there, you can see it's all like, oh yeah. Well, these next two Angry Birds, Dance Birds, have a bit of a story behind them. They were bought from a reputable mainline business. They weren't bought from the dark markets where I find all the other stuff. And the shopkeeper said to me, these are not Angry Birds, these are dancing birds. Well, let's just take a look at these and see if they've got anything to do with Angry Birds at all. You know, this is the sort of toy that you so commonly see in the dark markets. It quite often has, when you start to see all this, it's knockoff. There's nothing here relating back to Angry Birds. To me, that's an Angry Bird style. But we're going to have to listen to the sound chip in this. Let's take a look at how much I paid for this. I only paid $10, but look at the price before there. $29.99. I've covered up the business name here, or else I'd get into... they'd be very angry that I've brought this to YouTube. But, their argument was this has nothing to do with Angry Birds. And we're going to just take a bit of a closer look at this to find out if it does. Well, this Angry Birds style toy was in this shop prior to Christmas. It was there probably as a bit of a teaser for children, or come in and buy something a little bit strange. Maybe people who don't go to the markets would not see this sort of toy. There it is there. It's actually got a pretty good feel to it. as an in-hand appraisal there. It's got some wheels on the bottom. Bit of a sticker there. It looks like it's a multi-function sort of thing. Let's get some batteries in it and see it fly. Oh, getting into the batteries here. People like that shot. The only reason why I'm doing it. This toy takes 3 AA batteries. Imagine the money that the battery companies make from this style of battery. They're in everything. I'm not sure you can see that. There's all this grease that's come out of these. So they must be fairly well lubed up. Let's turn it on and let's see what it does. Jeez, what does that sound like to you? Oh my goodness me. It sounds Angry Birds to me. That is crazy. My goodness. Let's do something crazy and get 2 of them going. If that's possible, there might be chaos here. Whoa, watch out. They're looking mighty angry. I don't know which one's going to get clobbered out first. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There's all this oil spraying from them. Oh, they've had a fight. It looks like Yellow Bird is down and Blue Bird is down as well. I'd say that's related to Angry Birds in my books. They're trying to chop each other's head off. Well, let me come in and try and control this craziness. I'll turn them off. My goodness, they're noisy when they're both of them going. So there you go. In the store, the lady was adamant this had nothing to do with Angry Birds. Well, what tune does it play? That store should be very ashamed of itself. It shouldn't be selling products like this. Or then again, Angry Birds stuff seems to be, well, the knockoff that you can allow to run basically everywhere. You know, these toys are sort of, well, they're not very nice. They're spraying grease. There's just grease everywhere. I don't know if you can see it all here. I wonder if we can find out where the grease is coming from. How could we open these up, boys and girls? What's the easy way to open these up to find out where all that nasty grease is coming from? In fact, my hands are getting covered in it as well. Do you guys know about Mr. Hammer? Do you? Would you like to meet Mr. Hammer? I'm a bit curious to see what's inside these myself. Let's just give these a little tap with the hammer and see how they survive. Let's see if these birds can dance to the hammer. Well, it's a lot quieter in here now, but boy did that take a bit of hammering. Okay, as I come in and survey the damage, the thing I will tell you is those toys were very tough. The hammer, it took a lot of hammering to get them to pull apart, and they are very intricate inside. It's just amazing how many parts are inside these toys, and they're full of cogs and little spigots and little bits of metal. There's heaps of these came flying out, little bit pieces of metal like that. These would have been great ones to put some explosives in, and look how intricate the work is up in the head. There's so many parts in these. No wonder why they were probably priced up at near $30, but they're not worth $30, no way. But it took a while to get them to be quiet as well. It's just quite remarkable. And look at the oil and the grease and stuff that's come flying out of these. Everything I pick up is completely smothered in this grease. That must have been the secret to making them work. I mean, it really is. There's just so much of this stuff. It's everywhere. And there's lots of it. There's all little tiny cogs. There's all sorts of pieces. There's one of the arms. Oh, there's a prop from a previous video. Bits are coming out of the woodwork now. Cogs. There's so many parts to this. Angry Birds over there took a dive, as per usual. But overall, I'll tell you what, I'm surprised at the intricacy of this toy and just how much grease is inside it. It's just remarkable. One very, very strange knockoff Angry Bird toy. Let me see if I can pull all the parts together and make like a Frankenstein's Angry Bird. Well, hey, I think I've got them back together. Maybe I should take them back to the shop and say, hey, they didn't last very long. My son got hold of these and look what happened. Should I do that or shouldn't I? But like I said, you've got to look at these, and they are just full of little tiny pieces. All sorts of bits and bobs in there. I was very surprised what came out of these, and that grease is everywhere. They're just absolutely caked with grease. Well, very interesting. The old Frankenstein experiment has certainly paid off. And maybe what I should do is add to that pile there all of the other goodies that I would just say recreated, redesigned, took to the hammer in this video. There's lots of it. There we go. Certainly not a video to skip through. If you skip through this video, you've missed a whole bunch of fun. Anyway, as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and bye for now. That came out of that, why can't I talk? I wonder if that's an Australian beetle, or is that coming from China? Or maybe those beetles are blah. What is going on? Let's do something really stupid and get two of them going here. Whoa! Let's do something utterly crazy and get two going. This could get very ugly. Oh! Again. How weird is this one, eh? And we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. If I can get it on right.
Let Dad,
Do again.
Take take three. Look, Dad, it fixed.
I think it's missing a major body component there.
Oops.
You may be wondering what happened to Mr. Blender. Well, Mr. Blender was to feature in this video, but Mr. Blender had a bit of an accident. Who's going to survive? The Dark Side Angry Bird head? The Blender? Or the GoPro? Put it this way, it gets very ugly and it will be uploaded as a separate video.